friends and family being here. And with that, I'm just going to call out the future Councilwoman of District 8, Kate Gallego.
Yet my deputy sheriffs have investigated, arrested on the streets, and in the jails over 51,000 illegal aliens. If you want to be in the United States, you have to follow the laws.
You want to get that one, Ellie?
Yeah, let me find it. 7813 on 21st?
Yeah. 7813 on 21st Drive.
This one?
Yeah.
This side.
And then we'll go back for Alan.
Sí. Mira, este va a ser un poco de información de cómo puedes votar y te van a mandar un boleto. No sé si aquí te enseñan los candidatos que están corriendo, pero mira, ¿qué voy a hacer aquí? Sí, ese va a ser del school board y va a tener más información del consulado operacional. No, eso no.
Le llegó su boleta en agosto para votar.
Ay, pues no me recuerdo, pero sí vino otro muchacho.
Ah, ok, perfecto. ¿Y votó, ¿sí recuerda si votó por la Kate? ¿La Gallego?
No, esa todavía no la he mandado. Sí, me dejaron el papel para ella, pero todavía no he votado.
Mañana le tiene que...
What gets me up every day is, and the reason I got involved in the first place in politics was I was born in Mexico, Colima, and when I tried joining the Marine Corps when I was 18, I couldn't do that, but I didn't know I was undocumented until, once I graduated high school and I had to go through the process of college. And once I was in college, it was harder for me to be part of college because of the laws in Arizona itself. Proposition 300 was one of the ones that was weighing down on dreamers. Why I got involved was because
and we won. We finished strong. We were able to raise and increase the Latino.
How these people who make this executive decision got elected in the first place, and the numbers were very low. The margins was very low compared to how many people, especially Latinos, were registered to vote. And so that's when I got involved as far as, getting people elected, the right people elected, and getting people itself to vote. Because if our people weren't voting, Latinos and minorities weren't voting, somebody else was voting, and those people were making decisions for us without us.
Well, I was running in District 8, which is a very historically low turnout election, and we were proud that we were able to use a door-to-door campaign to increase that turnout significantly, from 6,000 to more than doubling that. And that was because we were talking to people at their door, and there were other groups out there talking to people about the importance of city elections, that city races are the ones that you'll see on a day-to-day basis the impact of your vote, and it's important to be involved. And this law was designed to stop some of those conversations, 2305, so we really wanted to make sure that people have the opportunity to be involved. People are busy, and you have to go to them with your message and make sure that you make your case about how we can improve our community. And it's very disappointing to see any bill that would. I think there are people in the Republican Party who believe that libertarian candidates were costing them elections. Luckily, city races are nonpartisan, so that would not have been as big of a concern in our race. We had multiple candidates from one party and can continue to do that regardless of what the courts decide on 2305.
That point specifically, the idea that this is a technique that the Republican Party is using to get folks that could siphon votes for Republicans off the ballot. Your response?
No, that's not true at all. This it was passed by a Republican legislature and a Republican governor. But if you look at the county recorders and the Secretary of State, the folks that are in charge of administering the elections, even the Democrats, namely Ann Rodriguez in Pima County, second largest county in the state, she was wholeheartedly in favor of this bill.
Well, that's not entirely true, because 2305 is actually two bills. One's the amendment, the omnibus to rewrite the election laws. That was tacked on at the last minute. The original 3-page bill, the circulators that the county recorders liked, and we've talked to them, there's going to be a lot coming back on that one because they are not in agreement with the rest of the provisions. There's like 5 major provisions. Several groups have distinctions of each one, what they hate about it.
The Protected Right to Vote Committee was formed in a very big hurry this summer after the legislature passed House Bill 2305. House Bill 2305, if you're unfamiliar, is a 4 or 5 part, we call it voter suppression bill, but it's a multi-pronged effort by politicians at the legislature to reduce voter turnout amongst groups that they don't feel like support them. And that bill passed by a very narrow party line margin in the last hours of the legislative session, virtually no debate, no citizen input. And it was going to have a very disastrous effect on upcoming elections. It was going to keep a lot of different groups from going to the ballot through a variety of measures. We got together and we put together a committee, the Protected Right to Vote Committee, to take this bill to a referendum. A referendum means that we needed to get 86,000 signatures in roughly 90 days over the summer, during the Arizona heat, in valid signatures in order to take this bill to a vote of the people. In September 11th, we turned in 146,000 signatures, and 111 of them were 111,000 of our signatures were deemed valid by the Secretary of State. So we were successful in referring House Bill 2305, and it will not go into effect, and it will go to a vote of the people in November 2014.
People, Latinos, are gradually starting now to be reactivated to vote because of especially here in Arizona, the real threat of what's been happening. But as far as what I've seen personally is that there is a lot of Latinos who wish they could vote, but they can't because they're undocumented, but can still be civically engaged. And these are people that want cleaner neighborhoods, safer neighborhoods. And then there's certain Latinos that are established and just don't see voting as part of their culture. And it's very interesting because what I've heard and I've seen personally is that in Mexico, people walk miles to go and vote on election day. But it takes a lot of hustling to get people to actually get to vote, and the numbers reflect on that. If they don't vote, then all of the work that you put into them, just goes in vain. And so that's why, we call them, we go all the way to their house, even though it's 10 miles away, we go to their house and pick up one ballot. I've gone all the way to Surprise from Phoenix to get a guy's signature because his ballot was at home and it was election day, but he hadn't voted, and so and when you do that to people, they get shocked on how determined you are to get a freaking signature, and that starts to turn the wheels because then they know, para la otra, which means next time you vote, and if you don't, people will only understand the consequences once they start getting hurt, but if nothing bad happens, they don't care, and so unfortunately here in Arizona, a lot of students got hurt, and so that's why you see this spike in activity, and you have nothing but young, fresh faces here in this campaign and in other campaigns, working because people want better environment.